Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine you're spawning into a brand new digital world.
Right.
You're expecting the usual triumphant fanfare, The sun is shining, and some ridiculously enthusiastic NPC is supposed to hand you a wooden sword and declare you the chosen one.
Like a classic hero's welcome.
Exactly. But instead, you log in, the screen fades up, and you are standing in a literal crime scene.
Yeah, I mean, the environmental storytelling there doesn't just danger, it screams it at you.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by the corpses of the very NPCs who are, supposed to be your guides.
It's so unsettling.
And the very first thing you find is this bloody journal that just ominously cuts off with, "If anyone finds this."
Ugh, chilling. Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. Today we are looking at a stack of incredibly fascinating chat transcripts.
Really vivid stuff.
Yeah, detailing a player's experience in what sounds like, honestly, the most brutally punishing MMORPG ever described.
Without a doubt.
And our mission for this deep dive is to explore how extreme adversity like, the complete stripping away of traditional power fantasies in a digital world, how that can actually create profoundly rich, organic communities.
Which is what makes this such a fascinating psychological case study.
Right.
Because what we're looking at isn't just game design today, it's really a look at how humans rebuild civilization from scratch.
From absolute scratch.
Yeah, when they're thrust into an ecosystem that genuinely just does not recognize human rights in any capacity.
Okay, so let's jump into the first few minutes of this, because the game aggressively shatters your frame of reference from second one.
Oh, completely.
You leave that crime scene spawn point, and you encounter your very first enemy. It's a boar.
Which is, the most standard gaming trope ever.
Right. Slay 10 boars is the universal warm-up stretch of any RPG.
Exactly.
But this specific boar has a title floating above its head that says, The Devourer of Kingdoms.
I love that. Yeah. Taking the most pedestrian, entry-level enemy and giving it an apocalyptic title is just a brilliant psychological trick.
It really is.
It immediately signals to the player that their past experiences in other games. Totally useless here.
Yeah, you are not the predator.
No, you're very much the prey.
I'll say. The player describes, like, trying to punch it, right? And the combat log shows them taking 38,441 damage from a single counterattack.
Wow.
And their character's maximum HP at level 1 is 12.
Just 12.
12. But here is where I get tripped up, honestly. If I boot up a game and take nearly 40,000 damage from the starter wildlife,
You're right.
I am immediately uninstalling, or at the very least, I am sprinting to the nearest city.
Right, because that's the safe zone.
Exactly. You limp back to a city to hear comforting loot music and find guards. Why wouldn't players just quit immediately when even the veterans in global chat are ironically telling them, like, bro, it gets easier after 200 hours?
Well, what's fascinating here is that you'd run to the city assuming the game adheres to standard design rules.
Right.
We've been conditioned for decades to believe that city walls equal sanctuary.
Sure.
You expect heavily armed guards to protect you. But this game weaponizes that exact expectation.
Oh, it really does.
It actively denies you that sanctuary. The city isn't a bustling hub at all. It functions much more like a refugee camp for severely traumatized players.
It's remarkably grim. Like, you stagger through the gates and half the city guards are just missing.
Gone.
And the few who are still standing aren't, puffing out their chests to protect you. One of them is literally muttering, "They come at night." Plus, the sewers, traditionally the beginner dungeon, right?
Right.
They were swarming with level 47 rats. It honestly just sounds exhausting.
And that exhaustion serves a specific mechanical purpose, actually.
Really?
Yeah. Look at the quest you get when you finally find an inn.
Oh, right. Okay, so the player expects to finally rest. But the innkeeper complains about a basement infestation and asks them to clear it out.
Which is a classic low-stakes introductory trope. Go kill some basement rats.
Except you look at the quest log, and the difficulty rating is 8 skulls.
8 skulls for a basement.
Yeah. You walk downstairs, and the quote-unquote infestation is this pale, multi-limbed horror called the Hunger Beneath.
Terrifying.
And the moment it notices you, the game's soundtrack erupts into this intimidating, booming choir music.
For a basement.
Right. How is that supposed to keep players engaged? It just sounds like pure sadism to me.
It feels sadistic until you look at the social outcome.
Okay, what do you mean?
By making the safe zone just as terrifying as the wilderness, the game basically forces players to bond.
Oh, I see.
Think about how friendships form in the real world. A shared struggle, like being stuck in an airport overnight, or, grinding through a brutal finals week.
Yeah, trauma bonding.
Exactly. It creates bonds far faster than attending a polite dinner party. These players aren't united by some grand, heroic quest to save the realm.
Right, they just want to live.
They're united by the immediate, desperate need to simply not die today.
And that drastically changes how people talk to each other.
Oh, completely.
Because in any other game, the world chat is just a chaotic mess, right? People optimizing their gear, bragging about stats, arguing about endgame builds.
Usual noise.
But here, the communication devolves into pure, primitive survivalism.
Yeah.
People are sharing safe berry routes. They are intensely debating which bushes are secretly predators.
Which is effectively digital cave painting.
Digital cave painting, yes.
They are leaving vital warnings for the rest of the tribe.
My absolute favorite example from the transcript is this server-wide broadcast where a player just types, "Do not mine copper near the lake."
Yeah.
No explanation, no context at all, and nobody in the chat even asks why.
Because curiosity is a luxury you just cannot afford in an environment this hostile.
Wow, that's true.
When the penalty for exploring is instantaneous death, you don't question warnings. You accept them as gospel.
You just obey the warning.
Right. And it highlights a really fascinating shift in how we process information. Well, in our modern day-to-day lives, we are drowning in context, right? We want the backstory. We want the data, the source.
Yeah, we want the why.
Exactly. But when you're thrust into extreme adversity, "Don't mine copper" is a complete and sufficient sentence.
That's all you need.
Any piece of data that extends your lifespan by 5 minutes becomes the most valuable currency you possess.
You can actually see the toll this takes on the new players staggering into the city, too.
Oh, for sure.
One player noted seeing rookies arriving with a literal 1,000-yard stare, just whispering into the chat, "The deer, it was casting spells."
It's hilarious, but also so bleak.
So, if the environment is this overwhelmingly lethal, how do they actually make any progress? Because you can't really build a society if you're constantly hiding from magical deer.
Well, the definition of progress fundamentally shifts here.
Oh, okay.
You stop trying to be an individual hero, and you start trying to function as a society.
Which brings up the mushroom incident.
Yes, the infamous mushroom raid.
Early on, the game turns into this desperate collective effort just to gather basic resources outside the city walls.
Just the bare minimum.
The player details a scenario where 8 terrified level 2 players, armed with literal sticks, form a protective circle just to escort a single guy trying to pick mushrooms.
I mean, it is a staggering allocation of human resources for an incredibly minimal return.
It's like watching a high-stakes Secret Service VIP escort mission, but performed by toddlers.
That's the perfect way to describe it.
They're rotating their camera angles every 2 seconds, constantly scanning the tree line, jumping at shadows.
Total paranoia.
And when they finally scavenge enough materials, the player crafts their very first weapon, a rusty spear.
A huge milestone.
But they aren't pumped because it does more damage. They are celebrating because they might actually survive 2 hits instead of 1.
Right. Notice how the psychology of crafting changes there.
Yeah.
Upgrading your weapon isn't about increasing your lethality anymore.
Right, it's defense.
It is strictly about increasing your buffer against death. It changes the entire emotional weight of the item.
Wow.
It's no longer a tool for conquest,
Yes.
It's a shield against the inevitable.
And that rusty spear sets the stage for their first real battle.
Here we go.
This group, now 11 beginners, manages to corner their first enemy. It's not an evil knight or a demon.
No,
It is a tiny wandering mushroom.
just little fungus.
The transcript describes an 11 versus 1 battle against a mushroom, and it is pure chaos.
Of course it is.
People are screaming over voice chat. 2 players die immediately. Someone is panicking and healing the wrong target. But they do it. They land the final hit.
So let's break down what happens mechanically when that mushroom finally dies.
Oh, absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
The corpse just disappears. No loot drops. No achievement unlocks. No triumphant music plays.
Listen,
It is just the surviving player standing in a circle in complete stunned silence, slowly realizing we actually killed something.
which is just a masterclass in behavioral conditioning. Yeah. The game completely refused to hand them a mechanical victory.
Right, no fireworks.
Exactly. The mushroom, from a purely statistical standpoint, was probably incredibly weak.
Oh, for sure.
But the game had spent hours so thoroughly convincing these players that they were entirely helpless, that overcoming even the smallest obstacle felt like defeating fate itself.
The player actually wrote that this worthless tiny mushroom became one of the most memorable enemies in their entire gaming history.
Because the victory was earned emotionally, not mechanically.
That makes a lot of sense.
Most digital worlds, and frankly, many modern applications and services we use daily, they just hand you power on a silver platter.
Yeah, they want you to feel good right away.
They want you to feel competent immediately, so you stick around.
Yeah.
But when a system does the opposite, it makes power feel civilizational.
Civilizational, I like that.
The players aren't working together to unlock, like, a cosmetic hat. They're working together so the group can literally eat.
I want to scale this up, though.
Okay, let's do it.
Because if a tiny wandering mushroom requires 11 screaming people and results in 2 casualties,
Yeah,
what on earth does actual progression look like?
right.
What is the late game?
It's daunting.
Because the transcript reveals the true scale of this world, and it is staggering. There's supposedly 30 major cities in this game.
30.
But the farthest anyone on the server has ever managed to reach is city number 3.
Think about the isolation that creates.
Yeah.
City 1 players hear rumors about City 2 like it's a lost mythological realm.
Atlantis or something.
Exactly.
Ugh.
And the few survivors who actually pushed outward and established City 3, they are spoken about with the reverence usually reserved for mythological founders or astronauts.
And the logistics of just reaching City 3 are absurd.
Tell them about the raid.
Okay, so it required a 200-plus member raid team,
200 people.
organized like an actual military campaign. They had supply carriers protected in the center. They had scouts sneaking through the forests. They assigned entire guilds of players just to watch the cliffs for ambushes.
It's incredible.
They were literally crafting spare weapons while marching, because if your sword breaks mid-fight out there, you are dead.
There's no pausing to fix it.
Exactly. So this massive, tense military procession marches for hours, taking heavy casualties, and they finally slay their biggest enemy yet.
A creature that required the coordinated, desperate effort of hundreds of human beings.
And that creature was a basic magical wolf.
Just a wolf.
In literally any other game on the market, a wolf is the tutorial trash you clear out before breakfast.
Right, it's what you fight at level 1.
Here, it takes an army, and when they finally bring it down, it drops a single item.
One item.
1 rotten tooth. Now, hold on. I need to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
If I gather 199 of my friends, we march for hours, stress is through the roof, people are dying,
Yeah.
and my grand reward is literal dental decay from a dog.
Right.
I am initiating a chargeback on my credit card. Why didn't the server completely riot over this?
Because you're looking at it through the lens of a traditional reward structure.
Okay, explain that.
To understand their reaction, you have to look at the concept of an inverted progression curve.
An inverted progression curve.
Right. If we connect this to the bigger picture, in a normal system, progress is guaranteed.
Sure, XP goes up, level goes up.
You put in the time, you get the shiny loot. The loot is your paycheck.
Right.
But in a world that actively rejects humanity's presence, progress isn't a reward. It's a defiance of physics.
So that's why the chat didn't riot.
Exactly.
They completely lost their minds with joy. People were screaming, "It drops materials!"
Because that rotten tooth isn't loot.
What is it then?
It represents a paradigm shift for their entire society.
Wow.
It is tangible, empirical proof that the seemingly invincible creatures in this world can actually bleed.
It's a massive scientific discovery. It's like finding the first spark of fire. It changes the entire tech tree. The player jokes that the tooth was probably locked in a heavily guarded vault, while the server's top crafters argued for weeks about what they could possibly invent with it.
Because it generates legends organically. Every single meter you push beyond those city walls is humanity clawing its way into the food chain.
Right.
So a rotten tooth isn't garbage. It is a holy relic.
But that holy relic is just the tip of the iceberg, right? Which leads us to the most unsettling part of these chat logs.
The existential dread.
What the players don't know. Because if a basic wolf requires a 200-man army, what is waiting out there near city number 30?
The game masterfully cultivates a profound sense of the unknown, which is honestly incredibly rare today.
The players describe seeing these massive, shadowy figures in the far misty distance. They call them titans.
Yeah.
And they talk about them exactly how medieval sailors used to talk about sea monsters at the edge of the map. They have absolutely no frame of reference for what they're looking at.
This raises an important question about information asymmetry.
Okay.
In modern digital spaces, true mystery is basically extinct.
That's true.
If you play a game today, You usually have a wiki open on your second monitor.
Oh, always.
You know exactly how much health a boss has, what its attack patterns are, what level it is. You always understand the scale.
Right, knowing a dragon is level 50 reduces it to a math problem.
Exactly. But this game doesn't give you the math.
There are no guides, there is no wiki, so the speculation just runs wild.
And if a wolf takes an army, the players are asking,
Is the Titan level 80? Is it level 800? Is it literally outside the leveling system entirely?
when you remove the wiki, you remove the GPS.
Right.
Suddenly, players realize they are locked in a vast, terrifying space, not just following a predetermined path.
They're actually exploring.
Yes, they have to rely on their imagination. And human imagination will always conjure something far more terrifying than a string of code.
It's fascinating how quickly they revert to oral tradition. Without empirical data, rumors become their reality.
Yeah, the theories.
Their theories about the undiscovered cities are incredible. Players hypothesize that City 4 wasn't even built as a hub. They think it was just built to survive the proximity of a Titan.
Amazing.
They think City 12 might have formed a religion worshipping the Titans to stay alive.
Naturally.
And City 30, the mythical end of the game people, theorize it might exist entirely underground because the surface of the world simply became uninhabitable.
Notice how the community discourse has completely shifted here.
Yeah.
We started with players looking for endgame builds. Now they are engaging in pure existential theology.
The server rumors sound like campfire ghost stories.
Oh, absolutely.
One player warns the others about this famous incident. Someone from raid group Black Horizon said a Titan simply looked at them and half the team disconnected in terror.
They didn't even try to fight it.
No. The sheer scale of the thing made them pull the plug on their internet out of pure panic.
I mean, fear of the unknown is arguably the most potent mechanic of all.
Right.
Yeah. By refusing to provide a safety net of predictability, the system restores a genuine, visceral sense of danger.
You feel vulnerable.
You are experiencing true vulnerability, which makes any subsequent survival feel incredibly meaningful.
And that vulnerability culminates in this one chilling thought that constantly circles the server chat late at night.
Oh, this is the best part.
Eventually, someone will always type into the global channel, what if the Titanized the tutorial boss?
Which is the exact moment everybody decides they have had enough anxiety for one day and logs off.
It's brilliant. Just the suggestion that everything they have endured, the trauma, the military logistics for a wolf, the horrific basement rats,
All of it.
that it's merely the preamble to the actual game.
It's mind-blowing.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now?
Good question.
Why spend an entire deep dive analyzing the chat logs of players suffering in a virtual meat grinder?
Well, there is a profound lesson here about human nature.
Which is
We fundamentally crave friction.
friction. Exactly that. When things are too easy, when the path is entirely clear and unchallenging, we disengage.
We get bored so fast.
But when the odds are stacked impossibly high against us, when we are stripped of our inherent advantages and forced to start from zero, we band together.
You really do.
We communicate differently, we rely on each other, and we find incredibly deep meaning in the absolute smallest of victories.
It is a powerful reflection on how we construct value in our own lives, honestly.
Yeah.
And I want to leave you with a thought to mull over long after we finish today.
Okay, what is it?
Think about the systems, the jobs, or the communities you are navigating right now.
Mm-hmm.
Have we sanitized our daily lives of so much friction, of so much unpredictability and necessary reliance on others, that we have accidentally robbed ourselves of the joy of true collaborative triumph?
Wow.
If life handed you a rotten tooth today, a tiny, seemingly insignificant piece of progress earned through immense collective struggle, would you recognize it as trash, or would you see it as the spark of a revolution?
That is an incredible question to chew on. If you expect a wooden sword and get a crime scene, maybe the real victory isn't the loot.
No.
Maybe the victory is just finding people willing to stand in the dark with you.
Beautifully said.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We'll see you next time.